when you sit in silence, fully in silence, surrendering to that silence, not just sitting in silence because it's the activity that you have in your schedule for 30 minutes or however long it may be. When you sit in silence and let that silence envelop you, that's when you will begin to hear the messages that you need to hear. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to start hearing voices. Thoughts may dawn on you. The realizations might set in of what it is you've been avoiding. Because I think in many ways, if you want to look at it from a technical perspective, that's what the silence invites. It invites the thoughts that we're constantly running from with all of the maladies that we engage with on a day-to-day life to distract ourselves. But when we can sit in silence, we begin to hear what it is we actually want. Ultimately, that's peace. I think many of us may have different words for that, different ways they would phrase what it is they want, but ultimately, what they're looking for is peace. I had watched a Gangaji video a week or two ago, and in it, Gangaji asked the question, what do you want? And then asked you to think of that. And then said, well, what will that give you? And asked you to think of what that will give you, and that why do you want that? What will it give you? Because that's really what you want, not what you think you want. You just want that feeling that it will give you. And I think you can go deeper with that, continuously asking, and what will that do? What will that give you? What will that give you? And I believe if you are truly honest with yourself, no matter what it is that you think you want, ultimately, that boils down to peace. I think one of the biggest hurdles that the world at large faces is that we give peace so many different names or so many different outfits, put little hats on it, call it celebrity, call it fortune. But ultimately, that's just peace. If you want to be a celebrity, mostly that's likely because you want acceptance. You don't want to feel alone. You want to feel part of a community. You want to feel the peace of that community. If you want money, you want to have the things you've always wanted, because once you've had the things you've always wanted, then you can be at peace. But that's not going to happen. It may happen momentarily, but nothing lasts forever. A new car is only new for so long. Eventually it becomes something. It loses its shine. And then you're on to the next thing to look for. The next thing that will give you peace. Even if you don't realize that's what it is. That's what you're always looking for. I think when you sit in silence, it allows you to reflect. It allows you to hear the truth that's inside. You can't hide. You can't put the disguises on what you think you want anymore. Because when you're in silence, one of two things will happen. You will be at peace or you will not. And if you're not, you have to ask yourself why. What is lacking from this moment? What's stopping me from being peaceful now? That's where you can really start to do the work. Because for some of us, it is as easy as just saying, oh, nothing. My life is great. I have financial security. I have friends that I love. I have a family who loves me. The only thing that's standing in my way is me looking out 10 years down the road on things I don't have yet, because that's what I was raised into believing, to always be looking forward. For other people, it's much more difficult. For other people, when they sit in silence and say, why can't I have peace? There's many things in their way. Bad relationships, addiction, mental states that just are not conducive to peace. That's where the work can be done. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.